Welcome to the Heart of a Viking. These art lessons are taught by Mrs. Minto from the Cape Henlopen School District in Delaware. I hope you have fun, create imaginative works of art, and make sure you share them with someone because, after all, the visual arts are meant to be seen. Autumn is the season when the warm summer temperatures gradually decrease to the cold of winter. Autumn, or fall, begins on the autumnal equinox. That's when the hours of daylight are equal to the hours of darkness. In the northern hemisphere, where we live, that happens around September 23rd. The temperature changes from summer to winter don't happen everywhere though. In regions closer to the equator, the temperatures can stay warm all throughout the year. Autumn is also a time of change. Leaves change their colors from bright greens to the fall warm reds and yellows and oranges and browns. Animals begin to prepare themselves for winter. They grow thicker coats, they store food for the coming winter, and birds begin to migrate towards the equator to escape from those cold temperatures. Autumn is also a time when crops are harvested or gathered. And there are many festivals around the world that observe the equinox or to celebrate the harvest. Today, we're going to be acknowledging those beautiful color changes that happen on the leaves in the fall. And we're going to combine this knowledge with an art technique that's one of my favorites called Zentangles. So let's learn a little bit about Zentangles and then jump into this magnificent art project. So a Zentangle is an art method that's really easy to learn, supposed to be relaxing, and it's a really fun way to create beautiful images by drawing structured patterns over and over again across the surface instead of the traditional coloring. We call these different patterns tangles. You create a tangle with a combination of dots, lines, curves, and maybe some shapes too. These simple shapes are the elemental strokes in all of the Zentangle art. Patterns are drawn in small little pieces on the paper that are called tiles. We then assemble these tiles to create something beautiful. You and I today are going to be creating a Zentangle leaf project. We're going to create our tiles and then these beautiful patterns and tangles across the surface. All right, let's see what supplies we need and get started. Okay, the first step in creating our Zentangle leaf project is to take your leaf and glue it to a spot on your paper. If you don't have an extra color like I do, you can just simply draw a leaf and then shade it in with a colored pencil or a marker. I wouldn't use crayon in this situation, so colored pencil or marker would work. Okay, so now you're going to use your Sharpie marker. We want a permanent marker for this part. We want our Sharpie marker to outline our leaf. Okay, and then now we're going to make some vertical lines. I would like for you to make your vertical lines starting at the top of your paper, working your way down, all the way top edge to bottom edge. And I'd like for you to make at least 3. 4 is fine, even 5 is fine. And then once you're done, I would like for you to make a similar number of horizontal lines. Again, wavy is perfect. Kind of reminds me of the fall winds that knock all those leaves off the tree. All right, and now that that's finished, we are ready to start Zentangling. So basically a Zentangle is a pattern of lines, simple shapes, or dots that fill each of these little spaces. From this point forward, we're going to call those little spaces tiles. So I'm filling my first tile with a checkerboard pattern. I made some lines that went across, some lines that went up and down, and now I'm coloring in some of the spaces. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that same thing, making a different tangle in every tile. Now, if I run out of ideas, there are plenty of ideas out there on the internet. If you simply do a search for Zentangle patterns, you will be presented with a ton of different ideas for different tangles. Some of the tangles that I have here on my project, I created myself. I imagined in my own imagination and drew. And then other ones I borrowed from my Zentangle search. So I encourage you to do both. Use your resources, whether it's your imagination or your search on the internet. So I know it looks like I'm moving so fast on this video, but I know that you know I had to speed it up just a little bit so that our lesson wouldn't go on and on forever and ever. However, when you're working on your project, take a while. Take your time. There is no rush. This is absolutely not a race. It is your chance to feel peaceful and zenful. Think about all of the beautiful things that you're doing, how you're going to make people feel when they see your work of art. Are they going to feel excited and cheerful and happy to see your beautiful creation? I'm sure they will. So take your time, try to feel that zenfulness as you work your way through each of the different tangles and each of the different tiles. Okay, so when you finally finish, you can decide to leave your piece of artwork just like this, or you can also add some tangles into the leaf shape. I'm going to definitely do that. I think it looks really fantastic whenever the tangles are also in the leaf shape. So I'm about to create a few more Zentangle patterns that I can have in my leaf tiles. So there you have it, HOB artists. There is your beautiful finished Zentangle leaf project. I hope you felt that peacefulness and that zenfulness as you were working through this project. And I hope you remember this technique, because this technique can be used any place where you would normally color. So for example, if you enjoy coloring in coloring books, or if you don't color in coloring books anymore, but you have some at your house, instead of coloring in the coloring books, what about if you Zentangled in the spaces that are in those coloring books? I bet that would be pretty interesting too. So remember this technique. It's super awesome, super creative, super easy. All you need is a marker and your piece of paper. So I hope you have fun. Join me back here next time at the Heart of a Viking. HOB artists, don't forget to hop on over to Art Sonia to upload a photograph of your piece of artwork to your art portfolio. I can't wait to see it.